91% of real estate agents quit within 5 years. Not because the market was bad, not because they weren't talented, not because they didn't work hard, because they never had a real system for real estate marketing. They had hustle, they had listings, they had hope, but no system. In this video, I'm going to give you the 7 steps that separate the agents who make it, the ones who actually build a business, not just a job, from the ones who burn out quietly and disappear. These 7 steps work specifically if you're selling to international buyers. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you the one step that almost nobody does. And that one step alone is responsible for more deals than the other 6 combined. Let me describe something that I've seen happen hundreds of times. An agent, smart, experienced, works hard, runs a Facebook ad campaign, spends maybe €500, gets 30, 40 leads in, they're excited. They start calling. Most of them don't answer. The ones that do can barely hold a conversation because the agent doesn't speak their language. So the agent sends a follow-up email, waits, sends another one. 3 days later, 7 of those leads have already spoken to a competitor. The rest go cold. The agent looks at the results, thinks the leads were bad quality, and goes back to the real estate portal and carries on. But the leads weren't bad. The system was bad. Or more accurately, there was no system at all. And this is the thing about working in destination real estate with international buyers. The rules are completely different. You are not selling to someone who lives around the corner. You are selling to someone who has a life, a job, a family in another country. They submitted that form at 11 o'clock at night after 2 glasses of wine and a conversation with their partner. By the time you call them the next morning, the emotional high has faded. That is the problem. Not your market, not your listings, not your ads. The gap between when the lead arrives and when a human being responds, that is where deals are won and lost. And until you close that gap with a proper system, you are leaving serious money on the table every single month. Let's do some maths together. If your average property sale generates €15,000 in commission, and that is a conservative number for most markets I work in, then every 10 leads you lose costs you roughly €30,000 in potential revenue. Not guaranteed revenue, potential, but potential you had in your hands and dropped. One of my clients in Marbella spent €900 on Facebook ads over 30 days. She got 47 qualified international buyer leads. 3 of them bought. Her commission from those 3 sales, €1.2 million. That same agent, 2 years earlier, before she had a system, would have lost at least 2 of those 3 leads in the follow-up. Not because she wasn't good at her job, because she didn't speak German, she was out on viewings, and there was nobody calling those leads back in the right language within the first hour. The cost of not having a system is not a small number. It is a very large, very quiet, very consistent drain on your business. Every week, every campaign, every month. And here is the part that makes it worse. You don't see it. You just see bad leads. You don't see the 4 people who spoke to your competitor while you were on a viewing and never came back. Step 1. Know exactly who you are selling to and go where they already are. Most agents try to catch everyone. Germans, British, Dutch, Scandinavian, Middle Eastern, all in one ad, one landing page, one follow-up sequence. One size fits nobody. Stop fishing in a puddle. Find the pond where your buyer actually lives. That means running separate campaigns per nationality. German buyers respond to different triggers than Dutch buyers. A Belgian buying in Mallorca is making a completely different emotional decision than a Saudi buying in Dubai. Segment your targeting by country of origin, native language, and buying motivation. When your ad speaks directly to Heike from Munich about her dream apartment in Marbella in German, everything else gets easier. Her click-through goes up, her form fill goes up, and your cost per lead drops. Step 2. Speed of response is your single biggest competitive advantage, and almost nobody does it properly. Research, including our own data, consistently shows that a lead contacted within 5 minutes of submitting a form is 21 times more likely to convert than one contacted after 30 minutes. After an hour, that number drops dramatically. After 24 hours, you are essentially starting from scratch. The problem: you cannot be at your phone every minute of every day. You are on viewings, you are sleeping, you are in a different time zone from your buyer. This is where automation comes in, not as a replacement for human connection, as a bridge. The moment a lead submits a form, your system reaches out. Voice, WhatsApp, in their language, within 60 seconds. You follow up as a human later, but the system holds the relationship until you can. Step 3: speak their language. Not English, not yours, theirs. This sounds obvious, but I want to be very specific about what this means, because most agents get this wrong. It is not enough to have a multilingual landing page. It is not enough to have a Google Translate button on your website. Your follow-up needs to happen in the buyer's native language. Your voice call needs to happen in their language. Your WhatsApp messages need to arrive in their language. Your qualification questions need to feel natural, not like they were written in English and run through a translation tool. Maria in Marbella generated $1.2 million in commission from German buyers. She does not speak German. Her system does. That is what I mean. Step 4: stop showing properties to people who aren't ready to buy. This one saves agents enormous amounts of time. The classic mistake: an agent gets a lead, the lead seems enthusiastic, the agent drives 45 minutes to meet them at a property, and in the first 5 minutes discovers they have no finance in place, they are 2 years away from a purchase decision, and they were really just curious to see inside. Qualification is not rude. It is respectful of your time and theirs. A proper system asks qualification questions before you ever get on a call. Budget range, timeline, whether they have financing in place or need a mortgage, whether this is lifestyle or investment. By the time the call happens, you already know whether this is a real buyer. You show up prepared and you close faster. Step 5: most of your leads are not ready to buy right now. That is not a problem. It is an opportunity if you handle it correctly. Here is what I see happen constantly. A lead comes in. They are not quite ready. Maybe their property in Germany hasn't sold yet. Maybe they're planning for next year. The agent follows up twice. Nothing back. The lead gets marked as dead. The agent moves on. 12 months later, that buyer purchases through someone else. Someone who stayed in touch. Someone who sent them a market update every 6 weeks. Someone who WhatsApped them when a property they'd be interested in came to market. The long game in real estate marketing is won in the nurture sequence. Automated, multilingual, low frequency, high value. Set it up once, let it run forever. Ivan in the Costa Blanca got 150 leads in 14 days. The ones who didn't book immediately went into nurture. 6 months later, 4 of them came back and bought. Step 6: your best source of new business is sitting in your existing client database right now, completely untapped. International buyers talk to each other. Germans in Marbella have friends who also want apartments in Marbella. Dutch buyers in Alicante are in WhatsApp groups with other Dutch families considering the same move. One satisfied client who buys with you and has a great experience will refer you to 2, 3, sometimes 5 other buyers in their network. But you have to ask, and you have to make it easy. That means a post-purchase follow-up sequence in their language, a thank you message, a check-in at 30 days and 90 days, a simple referral ask. If you know anyone considering the same kind of move, I would love an introduction. That is it. Most agents do this 0 times. The ones who do it systematically fill 30% of their pipeline through referrals alone. Step 7, and this is the one that changes everything. Every step I've described so far, the fast follow-up, the multilingual outreach, the qualification, the nurture, the referral ask, all of it is only valuable if it happens consistently. Not when you remember, not when you have time, every single time. That requires a system, not a to-do list, not a spreadsheet, a system that runs whether you are on a viewing, on a plane, on holiday. This is the step that 99% of agents skip. They do the first 6 steps manually, inconsistently, exhaustingly, and then wonder why their results are inconsistent too. You cannot scale what you cannot systematize, and you cannot have a business, a real business, not a one person hamster wheel, without this foundation. A system is not a luxury, it is the business model. Let me give you 3 quick examples of what this looks like in practice. Maria Marbella, independent agent, been in the business 12 years, great reputation locally, but struggling to break through with the German and Scandinavian buyers who are buying in her market. She did not speak German, she did not have a way to follow up in German, she was losing those buyers consistently. We built her the system: multilingual landing pages, AI voice follow up in German within 60 seconds, automated WhatsApp nurture, 900 euros in ads, 47 leads, 3 sales, 1.2 million euros in commission. Ivan, Costa Blanca, 150 leads in 14 days from a single campaign. Not all ready to buy. Most weren't. But instead of losing them, the system put them in a nurture sequence. 6 months later, several came back warm. Ivan now runs campaigns continuously, not in bursts. James, Dubai. He had a spreadsheet of 280 leads that had gone cold over the previous 18 months. He called them dead leads. We re engaged them with a 3 message sequence in their native languages. 11 booked calls, 2 converted to deals within 60 days. That is pipeline he had completely written off. The system does not just generate new leads, it recovers the ones you've already lost. If any of what I've said today resonated, if you saw yourself in one of those case studies, or you recognized your own follow up process in the problems I described, then I want to give you something before you go. I've put together a free playbook that walks through the full system, exactly what we use with our clients, explained step by step, no fluff. It is called the International Buyer Playbook, and it is completely free. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments below. If you want to go deeper and actually see the system running, the multilingual AI voice calls, the WhatsApp sequences, the pipeline, I do free 30-minute demos. You can book directly from the same link. I will show you exactly what your follow-up process could look like for your specific market and your specific buyer nationality. That is it from me. 7 steps to being a genuinely successful real estate agent in an international buyer market. Subscribe if you want more of this. I put out content every week for agents who work exactly where you work. And I will see you in the next one.